Hi, so I thought I'd do something different today. There are a lot of people doing storytime videos, and I thought, hey, I could do a storytime video about something relevant, which is the first time I was ever forced out of the bisexual closet, which is also a story about the first guy I was ever in love with. So here we go, story time. It all started a couple years ago. For those of you who don't know, I am an author. And before I was an author, I was a filmmaker, and I had done a short film and it got accepted into a film festival, and I had traveled there to, be a part of the festival. So I'm at this party and I look across the room and I see this dude, and he is hot. Like, he is 100% my type. He is so good looking, but way young, right? So I'm like, yeah, that's perfectly my type, but too young, so I'm not gonna even bother talking to him because I don't want that sort of trouble. Time goes on, I'm talking to someone else at the party, and this dude apparently knows this other dude I was looking at. And the guy comes over, let's call him George. George comes over and starts talking to the person I'm talking to. And the person I'm talking to says, oh, by the way, do you know George here? I'm like, no. He said, yeah, George, and then says his last name. And I immediately go, oh, frick it. I know who this dude is, because his father is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, yeah. So we all continue talking. And after a while, the mutual friend goes away. It's just me and George talking. George turns out to be a super nice guy, and he's saying, how he is looking to get into the film industry and he has no skills, but he says, and I quote, "But I'm bisexual, so if you just need a massage or something, I'm willing to do anything." Yeah, okay, this was before I truly came out about being bisexual, and this young hot dude who, and I'll tell you this, his father is like Hugh Hefner, like the owner of the Playboy magazine, Playboy Mansion. Like, how Hugh Hefner had like multiple girlfriends, all super young and all models and stuff like that. Like, his father was super known for that. Like, his father was a raging heterosexual. And here it was, this dude telling me he's bisexual, and I hadn't even come out as bisexual at this point. So yeah, I'm like super attracted to this dude at this point. Okay. So we continue talking, and we end up, we exchange phone numbers, and it turns out that he is from Los Angeles. Like, we're in a separate country, but he's from Los Angeles. And we try and hang out again at the film festival. We do once, we try a third time, doesn't work out. I figured, it's the last time I'm ever going to hear from him, because he's young, okay? He's young. So I come back to Los Angeles, film festival's over. 2 weeks go by, and I got a phone call, and who is it? It's George. And George says to me, hey, it was really cool hanging out with you back in that other country. I was wondering, do you play beach volleyball? And I'm like, why? He says, because my dad is super into beach volleyball, and he has all these games that comes around, and if you play, it'd be cool to hang out again. I'm like, I have played volleyball, but I've never played beach volleyball. He says, oh, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, you should come out. It'll be cool. Okay, I'll come over. So it was a Saturday. I ended up going down, and I meet his father, and there's a whole group of people, maybe 6 other people that are there. And we're playing, and I'm struggling to remember how to play volleyball. I'm playing it on sand, and I'm not very good. But his father turns out to be really, he wasn't kidding, super into beach volleyball. And his father kind of took to me and kind of liked me. So it was a good experience. And then since his father was obsessed with it, he would play it often. So he invited me to come down again and play another time after that, another time after that. And eventually his father's social secretary started calling me to invite me independently of my buddy George to come and play beach volleyball. And this is for 6 months, for 9 months, almost a year, something like that. And all this time, me and George are hanging out, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of falling in love with him. Like, I'm not positive I was in love with him, but if I was ever in love with a dude, I was in love with him because, I mean, seriously, model good looking, super, super nice, and, you know, Beverly Hills rich kid sort of thing, completely not his scene, completely down to earth, just, so time goes on. And sometimes he would join us and play beach volleyball. Sometimes it just me and his father and his and like the professional volleyball player who would come and play with us, or just a bunch of other people. And like there would be weekends where his father would throw what's called pamper parties, and he would invite all these models to come and hang out at his house while we all play beach volleyball outside. And then afterwards, it'd be like a party inside his house. Let me tell you, there was some wild stuff, right? Wild stuff. So there was this one time, like I said, like after a year, I go, he's not there, George isn't there, playing with his father, and it's getting late, and it was only like 4 of us that night. Me, this model volleyball player, and then his father and this semi-pro volleyball player. And we're playing, and eventually I say, you know, sorry, I gotta go. I actually have a date tonight. And one of the volleyball players asked me, oh, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm taking her to a restaurant in Santa Monica. And George's father, you know, the near billionaire, turns to me and goes, oh, it's a woman? And I'm like, what the fuck did that just come from? Like, that really freaks me out. Like, these are all split-second thoughts going through my head. I'm like, what the hell? Wait, why did he say that? Because you got to keep in mind, this dude is like a raging heterosexual. Like, just raging. Like, stories about him. I mean, he is a dude who appreciates women. And here I am, hanging out with his son. We're very different people. And, everyone I'm sure has got to wonder, why are those two hanging out? And let's keep in mind that I am falling in love with his son. I'm being really good about it, even though he said to me that he's bisexual. I'm being super good and not hitting on him, not doing anything, but I am falling in love with him. And here it is, his father implying that I'm gay. And if he's implying I'm gay, then why am I hanging with his son? And he's seeming pretty okay with it, all this stuff. So my mind's spiraling, but these are all split-second thoughts. So I just say in this time period, because I know I have to just keep on playing along, I just go, yeah. And I go on and answer some other question that the volleyball player asks. And then his father doesn't like the fact that I kind of just brush by it, and he says, so, are you back to women? And I'm like, what the frick? This dude is really pushing it. And I look around, and then all it is it's him, it's me, it's these two really super attractive volleyball players, female volleyball players, and it's like 4 models at his house and his girlfriend's mother, who happens to be black, who reminds me of a mixture of my mother and my aunt, who I have not come out to. And all these people are listening to this conversation, and this dude, like, giving me the nines, you know, giving me the nines. And so like time's going by and I'm like, I can't back down from this. I can't back down from this. So I very quickly think, and I might just open my mouth and I say, you know, depends on the day. And I turn around, I answer some other questions, say, anyway, gotta go. And I walk off, and I walk off. This was like I passed the house and I'm walking down the alleyway. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened there? Holy fuck, what just happened? So I get to my car and I go on my date. Date goes, it was okay. But the next time I see my buddy George, I say to my buddy, so did you tell, because by this point I had told George that I was bisexual. I said, did you tell your father that I'm bisexual? He's like, no, it's none of his business. Why are you asking? I go, because the other night I was playing beach volleyball and I say I'm going on a date and I tell him what goes on. And he says, well, what did you say? I said, well, I said to him after he said, have you gone back to women? I said, depends on the day. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, I love it. I look at him and I go, what was that? What the hell? man, that was some strange family dynamic going on there. I can't tell whether whether it's just that his father's a real alpha sort of male, and you know he bullies because alpha males, not in a horrible way, but it's kind of like a setting domination sort of thing. So this was clearly his father's way of doing it to me, and this was me not backing down one iota. So maybe it was my buddy George liking the fact that I stood up to his father. Maybe it was the fact that he, you know, accepted he was bisexual and his father was this raging heterosexual, and I was making things easier for him to maybe have a conversation in the future. Maybe, I don't know. All I know was it was weird. The whole thing, his father saying that to me, knowing that me and his son were so close friends and had a strange relationship and all that stuff, it was just all weird. Just all weird. And you may ask what happened with me and George. Funny thing. So after a while, I say to him, like a year and a half goes by, something like that. And I'm still very much in love with this dude. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing, right? If this was a woman, I would have found out what the situation was way long time ago. And here it is, I'm dragging out this long time. So I sent him an email. I say to him in the email, look, you said you were bisexual. You know I'm bisexual. I gotta admit, you know, I got feelings for you. What do you think? And he writes me back saying, I'm not bisexual. I write to him going, what are you talking about? Like, one of the very first things you ever said to me was that you were bisexual. And he writes back saying, oh, I don't remember that. And I don't feel for guys like that. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay. And that was basically the last time we really hung out. We hung out like a couple times after that. But the strangest thing happened. This is why I say I was probably in love with him, because I had super strong feelings for him up until the moment he said that he denied being bisexual, in which case, instantly, I felt nothing for him. Instantly, I was positive I was in love with him. Positive. And then he said that, and I was just done. But yeah, that's the story. That's the story of the first time I was ever forced out of the closet, and also maybe the first guy and only guy so far I've ever been in love with. But that's it. If you want to hear more stories, I got a ton of them. Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I do many videos on the bisexual topic, and I don't do them on a regular basis, but I do them frequently, so you have to subscribe to find out when the next video is coming out. Until the next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friend. Stay cooler. Bye.